All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the Current Flow podcast. Cinco, that's right. Carlos and Steezy.
What up, man? What it do?
Dude,
Playboy?
Dude, a lot's doing, bro. A lot is happening. A lot is popping off.
You know what's funny?
You know what I mean?
After I just finished the workout not too long ago, came home, like chomped a bunch of fucking food and stuff, like scarfed it down. But after my workout, I went to this place called Grow. It's that like market within that area. And there's always this guy in there that is like working the cash register. And like this one time, it happened today, but this one time, like the first time it happened, I walk up and then he's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Nothing much, man. How you doing?" And he's like, "Good, man. How about you?" I'm like, "Good." He just asked me, but I didn't say that, right? It just in my head. And then like another maybe couple weeks passed by, he does it again. Like, "Oh, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good, man. I'm doing well. How are you?" "Good, man. How you doing?" Like, just, what the fuck? "How about you?" And I'm like, you just still asked me that. Like,
still good, like 5 seconds
And then
ago.
like maybe I didn't see him for like a month or so. It's always different people. And it fucking happened again. And I'm like, okay, like why does he always do this? And then today, out of like, I guess you would say the fourth experience, he did it again. I'm like, okay, this is like, either this guy's always on autopilot or I don't know what, but like, how do you ask somebody, "Hey man, how you doing?" And you're like, "Good, how about you?" "Good, how about you?" Like, wait, what? Like, why do you do that? I don't know. These are like the things that like sometimes I play in my head when I have a human interaction, and like it's one of those moments where like you buy something from a cash register, like food or something, and then they're like, "Enjoy your food." Or like, "Oh, you too." Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, dude, I hate that.
I hate that, but it's like, how does this guy keep repeating that? Like he sees me all the time now, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's probably autopilot, bro.
Yeah.
His brain's probably just turned off into just like cashier mode.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, he's just...
You know what I hate? It happens to me all the time at work because I'm in person, is when you walk by someone and, obviously I always say hi, right? And they say like, "Hey, how's it going?" as I'm walking like past them. And then I am like, "Good, and you?" But we're like walking past each other. So it was like one time, it was so awkward, dude. One time that happened and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm good. How are you?" And I stopped walking and we like turned around, stopped walking wherever we were going and just started having a conversation with each other like 10 feet away because we asked each other how we were doing. And then it just felt weird and someone just started a conversation. I hate that. I think walking etiquette should be if you see someone that just walking by, just say hey.
I just feel like,
yeah. Top of the morning.
Yeah, like I just made a putt on the PGA Tour. I'm just like,
dude, that should be it. Or just do like the head thing.
When it's a dude, I'm just like, "Oh, what's up?"
Yeah,
and then
what's up?
Sometimes like when I'm walking and somebody doesn't meet eyes with me, I just keep going. But if they meet eyes with me, I'm just like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or "Good morning," blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I hate it when you say, "How's it going?" And then, or they say, "How's it going?" Then automatically I'll say it. But we're walking away from each other at the same time. So it's like, those are conversation starter words,
It's even like happened to me where it's like similar kind of thing. And like, I kind of just like, I'm caught off guard by I'm like, "How's he doing?" Like all stupid. Like,
yeah.
What I say?
Dude,
how's you doing?
Dude, same. Like a lot of times too, like,
"Do you how do?"
Do you
like
how
SpongeBob.
Dude,
"Do you how do?"
I hate those awkward like interactions. What always happens to me too is, and there's always when they pop a corner, like I'm walking like this, and then they just surprise me out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh hey," and I'm like, "Hey," like all super low and awkward, like, "Hey," like this, and I'm just like, did he even hear what I said? Like, I think about it. Bro.
It happened to me one time after a workout. I was at my car. I always change my shirt after because it's always drenched.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends like was walking, and I was like about to take off my shirt, and she was like, "Oh, I just picked up this." I'm like, "Oh," like I just got scared. And then she kind of like noticed that I got scared, and she like looked away, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take off. I started taking off my shirt again. I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take off my shirt in front of you. I was just like already doing it."
Yeah.
Like I felt the need to explain myself. And she's like, "Dude, it's okay."
I do. I'm the same way. I'm an over explainer, and which sucks because a lot of people think that if you over explain, you're lying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like I say, I can't make it to something. I'll give a full on explanation as to why and like what's actually happening.
Yeah.
But some people will be like, "Oh, he's like saying too much. He's for sure fucking lying or something. You know, but I'm like, no, I'm just
No,
like that.
I tend to do that even like in my relationship. I like, this is why I feel this way, and I'm trying to explain to you, and it's like I go bring
Way
up
too far.
examples, and it's
Yeah.
just like then my point somehow changes because I just keep rambling. You know? So
Yeah.
it's like,
Same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Different people, same problems.
but dude, fucking, what happened to Trump, man?
Dude,
Attempted
what
assassination.
didn't happen to Trump, bro.
Attempted
Almost happened.
assassination.
Yeah, it's. I've seen these.
Man down.
It's dude, fight. Dude, he took the fist up away from like BLM and stuff.
I know.
Like
Now it's gonna be an American thing.
now it's gonna be everywhere, bro.
MAGA.
The merch is already out.
Dude.
Like there's already a bunch of things coming out for it, and it's just like, dude, he took it away.
That
Now it
image
belongs
of
to
like
him.
the black guys at the Olympics holding their fists up is now forgotten. It's replaced with Donald
Yeah.
Trump doing it.
Now it's a Trump thing.
Damn.
It's crazy. Like I saw like I guess like a 3D animation of it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure you've probably seen it too. And they had like his head, they head tracked him as he was doing it, as he was doing the thing in slow motion, and the path of the bullet. And you see how fucking close. There was like 2 or 3 bullets that were literally just like whizzing past him. And there's even like a photo someone took where you see the bullet go like right by his head, and he survives. And then it's just great. And he did not miss opportunity to just do some hard shit.
He's a showman.
Yeah, he's a showman, dude. Now he's probably gonna win by a landslide.
Yeah.
I
But I
forgot.
mean, the wherewithal to have the ability to calm yourself and be like, because he said, wait, fight,
Yeah.
fight. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, dude? Like, that in that moment. So I was talking to Eric about it when like it happened, and Eric was saying it happened to him before, like, I don't know, a few years ago, and he was like, Donald Trump was scared, like he reacted totally differently. And Eric was like, I think that's why it's staged. Eric, no, it wasn't staged. But like in my head, I was thinking, well, he probably had that like first time that experiencing that for the first time. Of course, you may not react the most like proper way, but after that happened, I'm sure he was prepped, and like they were saying, hey, Mr. President, if this ever happens again, this is what you do. And I think when he realized that happened, when he looked at his ear, he did what he was prepped to do. And I just feel like maybe the CIA or whoever the Secret Service agents that were around maybe weren't expecting that, or maybe were in on it. Who knows?
Dude, I just see all that info.
I just felt like they reacted kind of slow to it.
super slow, dude. Like, first of all, there was people already pointing the guy out. So from when there's a video, I'm sure if people have seen it. There's a video of someone recording him in the crowd, like that's the guy, and they're trying to get police attention. And there's a video, like a side by side of Trump doing the speech, having the speech, and then that recording, and like 2 minutes passes while this guy is literally, well, people in general all around, they're all saying there's a guy on the roof, there's a guy on the roof, and he has a gun, and there's no action. And apparently they were saying that there was a cop who had sent a photo of him 30 minutes before the actual shooting, or something like that, and nothing happened. And there was like another CIA or former Secret Service agent. I forgot, he was on the podcast. I forgot his name, and he was saying that typically when you go to these sites and you're doing your security runs and stuff, you look for points of interest that could be a possible security breach, and obviously rooftops are a big one, right? And in a place where
this place, there really wasn't too much around it.
No, it was
like
literally just that building.
Yeah. Like,
It was
how the fuck do you not?
yeah,
I don't know.
like he said, any normal scenario, there would be someone on there. And there was an interview with a guy who I guess goes to these plenty of like Trump rallies and stuff, and he says he's gone to plenty of them before, and almost always there's always a bunch of like armed security and always people snipers and pretty much all the vantage points.
I heard that Jill Biden was in the same area, and they borrowed some Secret Service agents from Trump to use for her. But how convenient, right?
Yeah, that's super convenient.
By design.
No, it's kind of weird. Like
The deep state is real, man.
Yeah, that response.
The Biden crime family is at it again.
Who has COVID now?
I know. I hope he gets well soon.
Get well soon,
Mr. President.
I think they said he was doing fine.
I mean, I don't hate Joe Biden. I hate that the environment or the situation or the circumstances that we're in economically and politically and socially, but I still respect Joe Biden as a person who served like as a public servant for over 50 years. I just like to tease people like it's all Joe Biden's fault that everything's the way it is. But I feel like the way things are, like how we printed money back when the pandemic happened, like even if Donald Trump was still president, I feel like we would still have this situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like we'll just never
Know.
know, But yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of talk of it being like an inside job because there was a lot of like conveniences, and he was literally saved by like the grace of God. Like it was like
divine intervention,
millimeters.
Like if there was any sign of like a miracle or divine intervention, I feel like that is it.
Yeah. Dude, it was like 2 bullets that literally went like millimeters.
And it makes you think, like, if you take like a step backward and like look at the optics of everything, right? Like you realize that this is probably the most persecuted, ridiculed, like president that we've probably ever had. I've heard that maybe Teddy Roosevelt was kind of in a similar situation. But like there's a reason why this guy's being persecuted. We talk about like, who's behind Hollywood and the media and it's like a dark, sinister kind of thing. So if you think about it, like there's conservative morals and values on that side as opposed to maybe on the left where it's like, everybody has a right to do whatever they want, blah, blah, blah. If you want to be a boy and you think you're a girl, you could be a girl, shit like that, like wokeism is on that side. And maybe, there's like a divine intervention because they don't want him or, you know what I mean? Like it's just, there's a reason why he's being ridiculed, and I think it's because he's gonna put a stop to that, or maybe a halt to that kind of energy, or that.
There was a podcast
wokeism
with some guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's like a politician or something, but he said that if Trump were to get reelected, it would pretty much topple the new world order.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to get to that whole conspiratorial kind of thing without saying conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, it's out there. It's out the bag now.
Yeah. But like it makes you think. Like why is he so persecuted? Like I understand. Like. He has a bad attitude. He might like carry himself.
Offend
like,
some people.
He might be a fucking like, just say whatever he wants.
Troll.
He's not a statesman. He's a troll like Elon Musk. That's why people don't like him. But I don't know. There's like a bigger picture. Like, he was meant to stay alive for something. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Even how the news is being like the headlines from articles and stuff from the left and the right. Like I've seen articles in CNN saying that there was his rally was interrupted. Whereas like no, that was a fucking assassination attempt. Someone died. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like they don't want to give him that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think deep down people know, or at least Americans know, we care about people. Like we don't never want to see somebody killed, right?
Yeah, the large majority for sure.
Even if you're on the left, you would be sympathetic to that, and that could ultimately sway things his way. You might favor that and be like, well, damn. This almost happened to him, but there must be some reason why, like people like maybe he's going against, I don't know. You just start thinking.
There was articles saying that pretty much dismissing the whole assassination thing and saying that his fist up, the fight thing was offensive. And they were focusing in on that and how that could rile up extremists and cause violence and this and that and whatever. But it's like, how are you going to focus on that when this fool almost got assassinated and someone died and people injured, And then even the RNC, they caught somebody. They arrested someone that was walking around with a ski mask that had an AK-47 pistol or some shit on it and ammunition. It's just weird. There's a lot going on, man. And he survived. Not only that, he played golf the next day, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just so crazy, like the rhetoric around it. Like even people, I saw a picture on Threads, I think, of his Band-Aid over his ear. And I looked at the comments and they were all like, oh, that looks fake. Like someone not professional did that. He's just doing this all for show. Like if you really got shot, like why are you focusing on a Band-Aid for? Like he got shot and his
like
freaking,
we see the picture of the bullet whizzing by, dude. Like it's what more do you want? That's proof. Like why would this be staged? Why would he set this up for him? He was supposed to die.
Even if it was to be staged, the margin of error is so high. He would risk his life literally because he could have died if it was staged. He was literally risking his life for it to be so close. For what? He's already leading in the polls. Yeah. Like he has no reason to make himself a martyr. Yeah.
And he is a martyr now.
Yeah, now he actually is. Yeah. And now people, I forgot who the last president this happened to where it was during an election and they went up by like 20 points or something like that.
Ronald Reagan probably.
It might have been, yeah.
the difference of that one, like when they try to shoot him or whatever, like they fucking dove on the president like quick, like they dove on him quick. They didn't do that with Trump.
Their reaction,
they were like waiting to see if that fool was gonna die.
Dude, there's people like you see. There's video of I guess the police or whatever Secret Service is trying to get into the RNC, the rally, but there was a fence and they couldn't get through. So they're literally just standing around trying to not doing anything, and until like one of the Secret Service trucks or Suburbans went and crashed into the fence to open it up. But there is a good like 30 seconds of them just not doing anything, just standing there. And then the head of Secret Service, like she couldn't even holster her gun. Did you see that? She took it out and she couldn't even put it back in. Like, and I think that was supposedly the first time she's ever unholstered her gun in her career. And she's like the director or some shit.
I imagine. Service. I mean, well, I'm not gonna say this, but because I might get canceled. But like, I imagine like somebody like her doesn't really see much. I mean, when you're in Secret Service, you're just always trying to stand around. Like, you're not really getting involved with shit. Yeah. And like, she was probably like a DEI hire, you know? Just kidding.
You never know, man. But I saw his new security detail from the RNC, and it was just all dudes, all just giant dudes. Yeah. Well,
all those Milwaukee dudes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's nothing. I mean, gender doesn't have anything to do with her incompetence, because I'm sure.
Of course not. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, because there's probably a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot of females that know how to fucking work a gun and shit on Instagram,
of course,
and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just the situation, and then the way she portrayed herself is like, dude, come on, like you're not making your case, you know,
not at all,
for being the director of the Secret Service. And
I imagine when something like that happens, you might get ridiculed, and like maybe they're like, hey, you dropped the ball here. You can't do this. Or because you have to be on point, dude. You can't be dropping the ball like that.
I mean, supposedly, like, she's been interviewed and she took full responsibility for what happened. She's like, I'm the director and this happened under my watch or whatever. And supposedly, and these are all things that I hear from podcasts and real songs. You got to take it with a grain of salt. And I don't know if you've seen this too, where she got the direction from either the administration or somebody saying to stop talking about it. So like stop pretty much saying that it's her fault or whatever. Just stop talking about it altogether in these interviews and stuff.
I imagine like there's going to be an investigation, and what the results of that investigation will be. Like, how did this happen? Because they look at everything. I'm sure all the videos.
I'm sure Trump probably has his own private security detail also looking into it. And stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not a not wealthy man.
I wonder if like he were to be elected, because now he would be sympathetic or even empathetic in this situation to what happened to JFK, if he would release those files, because for some reason they don't want to release those files
because they're involved. Did you see that supposedly in the JFK thing, one of his Secret Service detail that would have been standing right behind where he got shot. So like he got shot in the head, right? And had that guy still been there, the Secret Service would have gone shot, or maybe the shot wouldn't have been taken because the Secret Service guy was right behind him. But in the last minute or right before they took off, whatever, they told him they moved his position so that it was just a wide open shot pretty much, and then he passed. So I don't know, man. It's a lot, dude. Did you happen with Tenacious D?
Yeah,
dude. Even that, like, it's crazy. Like, this is having a lot of ripple effects. Like,
well, one of the members from Tenacious D, it was his birthday, and Kyle, Jack Black said, "Make a wish." Gave him the mic, and then I think he said something to the effect of like, "Next time, don't miss," or something. Yeah, like that.
I wish next time they don't miss.
And then Jack Black canceled all the tour dates.
Yeah, like he played it along. You can tell he was
like, "What
awkward.
the fuck? Why'd you say that?"
Yeah, and he just kind of like kept on with the show and stuff. But I think like the next day he posted on Instagram like, I don't condone any violence against anybody or hate speech or whatever. So canceling all the rest of the tour.
You probably don't want nobody fucking shooting them.
Yeah, supposedly Kyle got dropped from his record label or whatever.
Damn.
Which sucks because like people know Tenacious D because of Jack Black.
Yeah.
Like Jack Black really is the driving force of Tenacious D. So by him fucking up that bad, it could affect him just by association. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he wants to do like a movie or another project or whatever. Oh yeah, but you were with Tenacious D. And like when that happened, because I think they were in Australia, the senator in Australia was like, we need to get, like, he had like a formal letter, and he was saying that Tenacious D needs to get kicked out of Australia. I don't know if you saw it. It was like a senator from there, and it was like a legit paper. And he didn't say Kyle. He said Tenacious D.
Yeah.
So it sucks.
You're grouped into that.
Yeah,
You're part of that club.
Yeah, and
Tenacious D. So
and Jack Black was just doing his thing and is like all flame fired out, like suit, just having a good time, and bam, just all shit turned around.
That's an example of, I feel like maybe half the country though, because like I went to work on yesterday, and my coworker, I'm not gonna say his name, sorry. But he is like, we always have these discussions, and I kind of just let him go off because he's long winded, but I enjoy what he says because it's always like a different perspective, and I feel like he's a pretty rational person. But when I got to work, we actually have a bet going on that if he wins or if Biden wins the election, he wins $100. If Trump wins, I win $100. So I get to the office and I'm like, see what happened over the weekend? And he's like, yeah, I want my money back. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I paid the guy to kill him. I'm like, what? Well, something to that effect. And I was like, damn, because that's how much he hates him. He's like, I have no sympathy for Donald Trump. Like, I wish he didn't miss. Like that's how much. Damn, that's how much he doesn't. And
he's lucky he said that to you.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't say it like.
I know, yeah, but some people,
like in an office setting, if they overheard that, you know, like,
dude, it's funny, like kind of unrelated, kind of. So I don't want to say anybody, but not know where I work. But I just heard a story of where someone else works, right? And there was this guy who works there, and I guess someone had like microwave tuna or some shit, so it was just like smelling like fish. And he went in, he's like, man, this place smells like vagina, man. Someone needs some, whatever, what's it called? Nature's Eve or whatever the fuck it is. Dang, it smells like vagina in here. They need to get their, whatever that spray is called. And there was girls there, right? But he was joking, right? But any sane person would not say that shit.
Oh, no, of course
right?
not.
Like, you don't, especially when, I think it was only him and some other guy. And it was only 2 dudes, and the rest are female. And they were there. So it's like, why would you say that? So he got in trouble, and he got spoken to and stuff. And I don't know what happened to him, but this is one of those things where you can't just say things to just anybody because people will get offended.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how people get. And obviously he said to you one-on-one, and obviously people like us, we don't care. But other people, they care a lot.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Sometimes this person says things where I'm just like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you're going to get me in trouble, man. Like,
yeah, for real. Yeah. You're going to be the Jack Black in this situation.
Sometimes that does happen. So, like, now I've learned that, like, hey, I gotta get back to work, man.
Because if someone overhears him and you two are talking, they're going to bring you in, too.
Yeah.
To ask you, like, what'd he say?
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'll sing like a motherfucking canary if my job's on the line.
Oh, for sure.
Like, dude, I tell him to stop, but his food don't stop.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just there, like, fucking, what the fuck in my head? I'm just like, why the fuck is he saying this?
I'm like, legally blind.
Like, I'm legally blind. Dude, like, he was, when the whole trial, like, I'm telling you, he loves this shit. He, like, studies fucking, like, it's his thing. Like, he's at work, he's working, but he has, like, CNN going on, and, CNN.
So he's, like, very deep in, like, that side of the
He's always like, the facts lean left. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Where are these facts coming from?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you're getting from one side, dude. Yeah. But no, he was talking about the whole Stormy Daniels thing, and he was like, yeah, they said that, like, she said that his dick looks like a mushroom, and I'm like, I don't want to know that. Yeah. Why are you saying that? Like, there's people around, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's been there longer than me. He's like very experienced. He just.
It's probably because you're the only person he feels comfortable saying those things.
Of course,
to.
I'm never gonna say like yeah. He understands the vibe. He feels the vibe. I would never ever be like, hey, telling people like, you know what the CJ was saying over there,
which is probably why he says it to you.
Yeah,
you probably can't say it to anybody else.
Exactly. But sometimes I'm like, bro, like, you better not get me in trouble. Like, this is no, fuck that.
Yeah, dude.
Don't mess with my money.
Yeah, that's
mess with my money. I'm gonna break your thumbs.
Yeah, that's how shit happens. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just it's crazy how many people really hate Trump. Yeah. Like, hate him, like really hate him. Like, I always knew people did, but I figure like he's not even president for the last 4 years. Like, who the fuck? Like, do you really still hate him? But people really still hate him a lot. A lot of people just switch. Like, I think his VP pick, I forgot his name, Vance, right? Something Vance. Mm-hmm. He used to be a never Trumper. That's how he started. Like, he used to hate Trump too. and then I guess he flipped because he started looking into the facts and stuff, which is happening a lot. I think more people over the last 4 years have become, I don't want to say right, but definitely a little more center, a little more independent with what they think. But there are still a lot of people who are just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't
feel
care.
like most of
Yeah.
those people, they favor like a statesman, like an Obama, you know, like somebody that
Like
like
a Byron.
gives fucking good speeches. Well, Biden don't give no good speeches or even good interviews or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true.
like fucking Obama really did give really good speeches, good interviews.
He had good
and
charisma, dude.
good charisma, good energy. So I mean, I always thought Obama was cool.
Yeah, he was like the cool
He
president.
was a cool president. But
Yeah.
Donald Trump is not a statesman, and I mean, I don't mind that. Like, I'm interested. Like, if he were to take office next year and you do see the economy get better, that should give you like some perspective of like, okay, like this could have been rectified sooner. Like, we could have been having a booming economy with Biden as president. He just chose to go the route of like more regulation and more whatever the fuck, like instead of having a free market or
Yeah.
driving that capitalistic mindset in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to bring things here, like make things here, manufacturing here, not give it to China, not give it to Mexico. things
Yeah.
like that.
To be more not be so dependent on other countries.
For sure. Or like exporting less that we're bringing in, that we're buying. You know, we're like at a deficit all the time, like not making what we
Or
need to
importing
make.
more.
Or importing more, yeah.
Yeah.
Or exporting, like our oil. We have liquid gold, according to Trump. Liquid gold.
What, in the Keystone pipeline or something?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to open it.
Because I think it was open and then Biden closed it.
I didn't close it. I mean, that's like a whole other thing too, like environmental stuff. But I don't know, man. I feel like we should be independent in energy as much as we can. And if we don't need to import oil because we have our own oil here, we should take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, I think if you're importing the oil, right, you're already drilling a hole somewhere, one. And two, you're importing that oil in huge ass cargo ships that use a hella fuel into the US and transporting it through the country and stuff. So like, what really is the cost benefit analysis of not having a Keystone pipeline available to, use our own domestic oil?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how much of a difference does it really make?
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, a lot of the statistics might be like swayed in a way where these big oil companies that want to bring that oil from overseas are lobbying and like even paying off scientists to skew the data to show like, hey, it's actually better if we don't use our own oil for our environment, or whatever the case may be. But overall, it's still going to affect the world in the same way.
Yeah. I mean,
Like the whole Jeffrey Epstein, that guy had fucking scientists in his fucking pocketbook.
Yeah.
And I actually heard a crazy story from, I think his name is Eric Weinstein, about why he thinks he was so like trying to connect with Stephen Hawking and all these big time scientists, because he was trying to understand space time and how to manipulate that so he can be in different places at once and stuff like that, you know, like fucking get access to gravity manipulation and shit like that, you know?
I feel like people in power, once they acquired enough mortal power, like rich, and you're in powerful places, powerful people, you're hungry to acquire more power. So once you're beyond the whole mortal kind of power, like, money and possessions and stuff, you seek that kind of supernatural power. I mean, Hitler was super into like the occult and trying to find weird shit and diving into the like Temple of Doom type stuff. Like, I was watching a documentary. I didn't get to finish it, but they were talking about him and I think Himmler. He was like the main guy who was super into the occult and really looking into like how to summon things and like use this for power and whatever. And they had like a whole like weird cauldron made of gold with like weird etchings on it. It's crazy. And people were into that. The Nazis were. So I can imagine other people are too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Reality stranger than fiction. That's 100%.
Going back to that dark energy,
Yeah.
like.
So speaking of dark energy, there's this movie called Late Night with the Devil. Have you heard of it?
I feel like I have.
It's like a talk show. It's like, so it's film. The movie is filmed and shown like it's an episode of a talk show. And in between the commercial breaks, you see like the behind the scenes stuff of what's going on. So it was like a Jimmy Kimmel or something, right? And this guy, like, he's failing, he's losing his views or whatever. His wife dies, and then he just falls out, whatever. in an attempt to become famous again, to become relevant in a Halloween special, he decides to bring on someone that's possessed, but she's under supervision of a psychiatrist who's studying her and also trying to understand what's going on. So he brings her on, and shit just hits the fan. But speaking of like powers and stuff, it goes into how he had made a pact with this devil in the past to become famous. So we've talked about this before, how like, celebrities sell their souls and stuff like that. So this was like a glimpse of how it happens. And they even talk about the Bohemian Grove, like the tall trees, and you even see like the owl and stuff. And one of the guys on the episode, he was like, "Oh, you should take me to the Grove, where you guys do all those orgies and stuff. I want to be a part of it." And he's like, "Dude, none of that happens." But the devil that they bring back knows him. And he was like, you made a deal with me, and the cost was his wife. Because we've also seen that too, where supposedly these celebrities who've made these deals have to make a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like people have said that's what happened with Kanye and his mom, just what people are saying. And
Dr. Dre's son.
Yeah, exactly.
When he did the Apple deal.
Exactly. And so that's what happened in this movie. And it was like the wife who ended up passing away. And there was like a little glimpse of it. So kind of a little bit of tangent. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if you like those kinds of movies.
I feel like I've seen the previews when it was like coming out, but I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, it's like a small movie, but it was interesting because when I was watching it, it was about the shit that people are talking about right now that is happening with celebrities and the media and all that kind of stuff, and people selling their souls and all that. And it mentions that, and it's like, oh shit, like you kind of see it, and then you kind of wonder, like, I wonder how many of these people have actually seen, like, this is based on maybe like, oh yeah, I saw that. So
yeah, dude. I mean, I can always just kind of harken back to when I was growing up. Like, I used to go to church a lot and be part of like the youth group, and they would always talk about how this, like, God is not of this world and this is Satan's world. So I've always had that perspective growing up, like, why are bad things happening, or even like, why am I seeing, like, even today, like these satanic fucking rituals on TV with, like, these artists dressing a certain way, having different types of stages set up to where it's like, bro, like, this shit is dark, kind of having that ability to be like, oh, well, this is Satan's world, so having that lens, I feel like you're kind of awakened by that in a sense. And
yeah,
like,
I feel like this,
like, I know what that's like. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, I feel like, because my niece, she's 13, and her father's also says the same thing, like, oh yeah, this is like the devil's world or whatever. And I was talking to her, she's really into horror movies, so every time I go over, she always wants to watch The Conjuring or whatever. And then she was talking to me, and she was saying something along the lines of like that, like something was happening. She was like, yeah, this is like the devil's world, this is what my dad says, so it's just what it is. But it sounded like she was just like, well, just give up pretty much. So I was like, kind of talked to her, like, yes and no. There's nuance in it, right? But you could be the light in this kind of world, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. But she took it another way. He took it as kind of like, well, it's the devil's world, so what the fuck? It doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah. She took it a different way.
So it's like, yeah, the audience, makes a difference too. Obviously, you took it in the way that is constructive.
Yeah.
To make good decisions. My niece was just like, well, whatever.
Yeah. It's not gonna matter what I do anyways.
Yeah, it's a devil's world. Why am I gonna do homework? It's a devil's world.
For real, huh?
Dude, I'm just waiting for the day she finds like YouTube and she starts talking about Terrence Howard or some shit. And when she's doing her homework, she's like, 2 times 2 equals whatever. 1 times 1 is 2.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude.
Because 0 is not a number.
Yeah, she starts telling me, like, have you heard Terrence Howard? I'm like, yes. She always says that to me. She was like, I forgot who it was, but she was like, do you know who this person is? And it was something like Doja Cat. I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. She's like, oh yeah, well, how about this? And I was like, yes. She asked me who Kobe was. I'm like, I know who Kobe was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so what team do they play for? And I was like, the Lakers. And I'm like a huge fan. She's like, wow, you know everything.
I've been alive longer. Yeah, I've seen a lot more.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, exactly. But it's just funny coming from a kid, you know what I mean?
She's 13, you said,
She's
right?
13, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's also like, she's on a spectrum too. So she says and does things that are pretty funny. Sometimes are pretty interesting insights.
Well, how would you say, like, how much on the spectrum? Like, just a little bit?
So she's high functioning in the sense that she can talk to you, she can whatever. She'll probably be able to drive and stuff. But she's
like socially.
socially she's a little awkward, and she can't focus on one thing. So like let's say I'm talking to her about the weather. Oh yeah, the weather's great, whatever, cool. And just out of nowhere, she'd be like, I love nachos. Just like random like that. And like, okay. Just like that. Like one time she lied to me about something. Like, dude, I don't know why you're lying to me. And I was giving her like a lecture about lying, right? How losing trust and whatever. And then out of nowhere, she's just like, yeah, but do you want any of my chips? And I was like, no. Like, what are you talking about? It's like that. And she can't focus on one thing. Her mind goes elsewhere.
But you're aware, and so like you're.
Yeah, you just be patient and stuff, you know. But she's been better about it. She's been going to therapy and stuff. Before, when she was younger, it was way more apparent. Because when she was like 4 or 5, she wouldn't even speak. She would just be yelling and just like do like baby mumbo jumbo. But she was like 4 or 5. You know, in contrast, like my nephew now, he's like 4, and he speaks pretty good. Not excellent, but he speaks pretty. Like he can get his point across, you know, by saying stuff. And my niece was not like that at all.
Gotcha.
So that's when I was like, something's off. But I think because I don't know if it's like a Latino culture or what, but I feel like my sister was kind of like in denial. Like she didn't want to admit that something might be wrong. Where she's, oh well, she's just young, you know. It's because we talked to her in Spanish and English, so she may not understand it. But then way later, she got diagnosed and she was getting some help, but it was already kind of later. Whereas with my nephew, because she had autism, they tested him for that when he was way younger, like 1 or 2 or something. I forgot how old you are, but really young. And they're like, we also think he's on the spectrum. So they also put him in therapy or whatever, and he's like thriving.
I really wonder, like, what are the like factors that go into potentially having an autistic kid? Like,
It's a lot.
Could it be like, you know, the food that we eat and like all this ultra processed foods?
What's causing the increase in?
Because I feel like there's a big, like, as of late, I'm just hearing a bunch of kids are autistic, and I've seen things of like every kid's going to be autistic by 2025 at this rate. Like, it's just,
yeah, I think it's there's two things about it. I think one of the things what you're talking about, like the toxicity and things that may have an impact on the levels of autism we're seeing, that could be a thing, because I mean everything is fucking poisoning us. Like all of our food is having all these crazy ingredients.
Our fucking clothes are made out of plastic, bro.
Yeah, like the water, like our water is undrinkable or it has fluoride or whatever the fuck that's in it. It also affects you. But the other part too is, I think over the past like 10-15 years, we have a better understanding of what autism is and the signs for it, and the spectrum is so wide where you could be on the spectrum but be super high functioning. You can have, let's say, since like for example, my nephew.
That's why it's called the spectrum.
Yeah, that's why it's a spectrum. So my nephew, he's also has trouble focusing, right? But if this was like the 90s, I would just think he's just a kid. He's just running around because he just loves to run around. And he's sweet, he does everything, and he doesn't like loud noises, which is also something with autistic kids. Like, not even really loud. Like, even if you sing happy birthday to him, sometimes he'll cover his ears. Like, he'll go like this. Like, it bothers him. And that's also like something common in autistic kids. Like, they're high sensitivity to noises and stuff. So he has that. But everything else is hard. Like, you wouldn't really be able to tell. And I think back in the day, you would just think that's just a kid being a kid. Whereas now it's like you have ADHD, you have all these things. Like, my cousin told me, like 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I was talking to him. He was like, dude, I think I have ADHD. And I was like, now that we know what the signs are, I was like, yeah, maybe you do. Because he's all very fidgety. I'm very fidgety too.
I feel like people our age, because we grew up with like cell phones and social media, like we're inherently like fucking need that dopamine rush, and we have ADHD. So like, I feel like people's attention levels, like my attention level, even as a kid, was pretty bad. Like, if it wasn't video games or like shit that interests me, I'd fucking whoop. Like people be, I even in high school, like, or college, like I'd be out, and sometimes like people be talking to me, and I just feel like, I just fucking like mid conversation just fucking change. Like, and maybe that's me being on the spectrum as well. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, the thing, the spectrum is so wide, and now like as it's becoming more well defined, and like the proclivities of someone being on a spectrum is so it's just everywhere now. So the spectrum can be so small, and but yeah, you might not need medication or therapy, but you might have a little bit of a tizzy. You know what I mean?
Little tizzy.
You know,
They got the tiz.
you got the tiz, dude.
Damn, I didn't even know there was a fucking acronym for that.
But
shit.
also, I feel like I have, maybe just because I worked in pharmacy for a while, I do think there's also another part of it where it might be overly diagnosed for the purpose of selling
drugs. Yeah,
I do think that's a part of it. Like, for example, my nephew, he's fine. Dude, he's a kid. He's a 4-year-old boy. He loves running and jumping and playing. To me, that's normal. I don't see that as a problem, but they wanted to put him on
Ritalin.
To control his.
They wanted to do that to my cousin, and
Yeah.
then my aunt was like, "I'm not gonna put my kid on medication just
Yeah.
because he wants to have fun."
Yeah, exactly. It's just a boy being a boy,
Yeah.
or not even a boy being a boy, just a kid being a kid.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like even if you have like an athletic dog, like when they're just
yeah,
like, are you gonna get that dog Ritalin? Like, no,
No,
you're gonna let
some
them tire
people
himself
do.
out. Yeah,
dude. Like, and I hate this, dude. It's one of my pet peeves, and I don't know if you like this. I'm sorry, but
don't drug your kids,
I hate
bitch. I'm just kidding.
it, dude. For real though, I hate that. But I hate it when people baby their dogs so much. My cousin has a dog, and she's like, yeah, well, he has anxiety and he has this and that, so I need to give him these pills for his anxiety and this so that he's calm. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
No, put that dog outside.
Yeah, put that dog down. Like, what the fuck is he doing here?
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, but I do think that is a symptom of having her as an owner, because she's like that. She's anxiety. She has a lot of anxiety,
So the dog is like.
So I think you pass it on to your dog.
Of course,
because obviously you raise that baby. The dog.
Yeah.
And you take care of it, and it mirrors your behaviors and whatever it is that you taught it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you heard of the? Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? It's a fucking bear. Can I pet that dog? Dude, I'm so glad you know that, because sometimes I say that to Steph and she's like, what? I'm like, oh.
I love it. Sometimes I'll be like on Instagram and it pops up and I just can't help.
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog?
Because she screams it like 3 times.
She says it calmly at first, and then the next 2 times she's like, "Can I pet that dog?" Oh, I love that fucking
Dude,
video.
I love that video.
Yeah, that's the best. And I don't know if that's like the actual audio from that video, or somebody just transposed it on there. I don't know.
They did, it fits
it's really
perfectly.
good. Yeah. Can I pet that dog?
It's a fucking bear.
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Oh, I love that
dude.
shit.
You got to put that shit on here.
Oh yeah. Can I pet that dog? Oh man, I will put it up there for sure.
Dude, but yeah, we're a little bit of a tangent from the Trump assassination. But yeah, dude, that shit's crazy. And also, quick shout out to Argentina for winning the CONCACAF.
I just had a discussion with my friend Diego at 45 about the whole, like, because I got invited on Sunday to watch the Argentina-Colombia game, and I was just like,
For free?
no, like at a bar with like a group of people.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't like, me and Magali had errands to do, but like in my mind, I'm like, soccer, like,
dude, I love
but
that shit.
It's the biggest, like, one of the biggest things in soccer. So I kind of missed that. I didn't realize the scope of it, and I didn't realize that like it was for the championship. I thought that like there would be one more game, which would be Spain and Argentina, but they're 2 separate cups.
Yeah,
it's the Euro Cup,
the Euro Cup,
or what's it called? Copa Europe.
Copa America,
Yeah, Copa America, and then the other one's called
Euro Cup.
Euro Cup. That's the one.
Yeah.
And so
I
I guess
so.
they're gonna do an exhibition of like these teams that won,
the champs. Oh, nice.
but it's not gonna be like
They're friendly.
I thought it was gonna be like that's for the whole pot, but
No, dude, I don't really watch soccer too much, but I do follow the national, especially when the national teams, especially when there's tournaments, because I follow Ecuador, which, dude, it's always so sad, man. And this so you know what though, they played really good.
they beat Mexico, right?
Yeah, they eliminated Mexico, and they were this close to eliminating Argentina. Like, they took them to overtime, to penalties. That's where they lost. And it was because Enner Valencia, who's the captain of Ecuador, he missed a penalty. If he wouldn't have missed the penalty, Ecuador would have won. But woulda, shoulda, coulda. But we were the only ones to really push Argentina to like the edge of it.
Gotcha.
Which is sad because like we always like, oh, we have so much faith, but never happens. But Argentina and Colombia was a big one too because that would have been Colombia's first championship in that cup, and it was also Messi's last.
Yeah, that's why he was crying.
Yeah,
he sprained his ankle.
He fucked up his ankle, dude.
It was like that big.
Yeah, but they won, so
his work was done.
So yeah, his work was done. But it was cool, dude. I love watching that kind of stuff. I wanted Argentina to lose because they eliminated Ecuador.
But didn't they fucking win like not too long ago? They won something like a couple years ago.
They won the FIFA World Cup.
The FIFA World Cup, yeah.
Which is that's the biggest.
And he was part of that shit too.
Yeah. So the fact that he won that and now has won this, he's
the GOAT, dude.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most decorated athletes of all time.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know what the statistics are, but he's up there.
I got to see him when he comes to play either Galaxy or LAFC.
Yeah, but it's like $400 a ticket to see him.
Got to see him one time.
Yeah, one time, dude. Where I work, they often give free tickets. They're giving free tickets. Well, they had for July 4th, and also for
because UCLA Health sponsors all the Rose Bowl shit, huh?
Yeah, and for the games, I think there's one on Friday and one on Tuesday, and it's a cup for MLS.
Oh, cool.
To see LAFC.
Oh, fuck LAFC, dog.
Dude, it's so funny.
Galaxy.
LAFC, bro. Galaxy don't even play in LA.
They've been here longer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the first soccer game I've ever seen in my entire life was a Galaxy game.
My favorite player is Landon Donovan.
Dude, I used to like Landon Donovan too. When I used to play FIFA,
this is a random player.
Dude, he was actually really good.
He was good, but not really good. Not like he's ain't no Messi though.
No, he's no Messi. But for USA, he was up there for
Kobe
USA.
Jones.
Yeah. Like I remember I would play in FIFA 2010. London Donovan. Yeah. Like I used to love that too. But yeah, the Argentina won, so I wanted Colombia to win too because I like Colombia.
Your fellow Latinos.
Yeah, they're my neighbors. Yeah. And Argentinians are really racist.
I heard they think they're the best Latinos, right?
Yeah, and they're really, really, really racist. Like really racist.
Didn't they get in trouble for talking shit about France in like a song?
Yeah,
and France is gonna sue them.
They did, yeah. Well, I don't know, but I don't. So what I saw, it wasn't the team that was singing it. It was I guess how people just do random interviews and shit on in the games. It was like a random YouTuber, Instagram, whatever, and he was interviewing a bunch of Argentinian fans, and they're like something along the lines of, "Oh, is there anything you want to say? Like France is like playing whatever." And they sang a whole song about France and Mbappe and about them being from Africa and this and that and the other. Pretty much just a racist song about them being black. A lot of their team being black. And the guy was like, "Oh, I got to end it here because this is too much. I'm going to fucking get canceled and stuff." But that might be what you're referring to. They had a whole song and they were all singing it. So it's like a song that people know, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Argentina, from what I've seen, is the only national team in South America that doesn't have any black people on their team.
Really?
Yeah. Like if you see any, at least the ones that were playing on the field, none of them. Not to say they need to have that, but none of them. If you see Ecuador, they're almost all of them. Colombia too. A lot of them. South America is very diverse.
Yeah, but I feel like probably in Argentina, a lot of the Spaniards probably migrated there back.
A lot of the Germans.
A lot of the Germans too.
Yeah, they have a literal German town that still speaks German as their primary language, which is
all the Nazis, dude.
Yeah, literally, and that's why a lot of them have like Italian and whatever kind of last names, like Becerra and whatever. They all have like those kinds of like last names.
Supposedly, my last name is from Italian roots.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it is.
Yeah. I've even looked it up and tried to find like a coat of arms and shit or a shield of arms or what the fuck it's called. And yeah, supposedly there's a lot of Baltadanos in Central America. Yeah.
I mean, we were conquered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my Ecuadorian family, that last name is Andrade. I don't know what that could be.
Oh, that
might be Spaniard.
That's my dad's mom's last name.
Okay.
So my dad's, or is it? I don't know. One of them, his name is Andrade Figueroa Romero. Something like that.
That's definitely Spanish.
Or is it my mom? Is it my mom Montenegro Andrade?
I would imagine your mom because she's light skinned as hell.
Yeah. I like my last name, but I wish I would have Montenegro, bro. That last name goes hard.
That's pretty cool.
I don't even know any Montenegros. But
I've seen Montenegro a few times.
really, I haven't, and it just sounds cool. Montenegro, sounds tight. But
Was that like Black Mountain?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. That is pretty much the translation.
Yeah.
It's an actual place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called. I think it's called Montenegro. It's an actual. I don't know if it's like a city or whatever, but it's an actual place.
This kind of reminds me of like me and Magali have been little bits and pieces of planning our Europe trip. We just booked our stay in Milan, but we booked our stay in Barcelona, Madrid, and I'm just thinking about like all the Spanish things I'm gonna do. Spanish food.
The food, dude. The nightlife is crazy out there.
Yeah, I'm already
in Spain.
looking like on resident advisors, seeing like what kind of shows are gonna hit up.
Yeah, dude. They don't get to the clubs until like 2 a.m.
I read that like things don't really even open up till like 11. Like
Yeah.
Spaniards stay asleep for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could get behind that.
Well, a lot of places in a lot of other countries, they don't start their day as early as we do.
Yeah.
Like even in Japan, I think like if you, let's say you wake up early, like 8 a.m., whatever, everything's closed. And nothing's open until like 10.
Okay.
Unless you go to like a 7-Eleven or something like that. But yeah, they usually start their days later.
That should tell you something, right? Like, because even getting to the food part of it, they have better quality food in that area. These civilizations have been around longer than America. So I feel like we should kind of take like a piece of like maybe their wisdom in a sense and like realize like, hey, like they probably understand how to live life a little better than we do because they've been doing it longer. And there could be statistics where like places in Europe just show that people are happier. What are they doing that we're not doing? Oh, they have better quality food. Oh, they have better education, better resources, and actually make use of their own resources instead of importing a bunch of shit, you know?
Yeah.
So
they're also mostly homogenous and not to say that's, you know, why they're like that. But if you go to like Switzerland or whatever, or Sweden, they're like a very homogenized culture.
yeah.
And usually when that's the case, there's not many differences.
Yeah.
So people don't fight about things.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to a place that's more diverse, like the U.S., you have a lot of different cultures clashing. And that could be a good or bad thing. For someone like us, I think it's a good thing because we love different cultures. Like I love seeing how other people live and trying their foods and hearing their music and stuff. But some people don't, you know.
Because you had those extremes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also have the people who are like to gatekeep, like, oh, that's cultural appropriation, like shit like that.
Yeah.
I think that's just stupid, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. But
Did you hear that there was a bill passed in California where if your child wants to transition or has feelings that they're going to transition to a different gender, the school doesn't have any like requirement.
obligation to notify
No
the
obligation to report it to the parents of that child? What the fuck? Like, what?
parent. Yeah.
How does that make sense? Like, what is the excuse? Like, that to me, that is when woke is just too woke. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
You're literally just handing your kids over to the state
Yeah.
at that point. And then, but like this seems like a seemingly like innocent type thing. Cause like, well, you know, it's just because there are some kids who feel unsafe to say it to their family. So whatever. So I'm like, okay, maybe, but like where is the line going to be drawn? You know, this is the first line, right? What's the next one? And the next one, and the next one. You know what I mean? They're gonna keep pushing for things, and sooner or later, it's gonna get to a point where parents may not have any right with their kids.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, it's an extreme case, but that could happen because this is only the first bill that's like that, where you know typically the parent is the one that does everything. They control everything. They're your parent. You know what I mean? My mama said, you know, like,
Oh yeah, dude. My mom, if I ever like, my mom was awesome when it came to like, if I had a problem at school. I remember one time I was having a hard time in math, and I was always good at math. And my mom was like, "Dude, what's going on?" I'm like, "This teacher, like, I can't understand him." And like I asked him for help. He was going to help me, so she went down there and told the principal, like, "You better take my son out of this class because he's not like getting anything out of Steven. Like Steven has always been a good math student, blah, blah, blah." They switched me and I started doing good again. But like my mom was always good about like, if I expressed like, this is not working for me, she'd go down there and tell them.
yeah,
So she was, you know, an actual parent and actually
that's how
looked
it
out
should
for
be.
me. Yeah.
But yeah, man, and that's Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I
right
know,
there.
dude.
When is one of those elections? Did you pass already?
For the new governor?
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
dude, we need to vote this fucker out.
Doesn't it happen with this?
I don't know. I don't see anyone. Well, I haven't really seen anyone
Anybody running
or
or,
anything.
like, campaigning.
Yeah, because dude, California is
a shithole.
Yeah, it's getting bad, dude.
And it sucks, man, because like when you take a drive to like, say for example, we went to Paso Robles, man, California is so beautiful, bro.
It's so beautiful, dude. It's such a nice state.
It's the best.
Yeah, as far as states go, it's probably top 3 for sure. It's not number 1, but the way that it's ran is so bad to where the micro part of it, you know, the macroeconomics of it, the micro socioeconomic part of it is so bad.
Yeah.
You know, the streets are dirty. The homeless problem is terrible.
Yeah.
The economy is not that great. Everything's fucking expensive. Taxes are out of this world. Gas is super fucking expensive. It's unreasonably expensive to live in some places. It's bad, dude.
I feel like this gas station right here, that Chevron, right?
Dude, it's stupid. Like
it's always like
$8
$8
or something.
It's like the most expensive gas in the country.
Oh, really?
I swear, it's like up there. I swear to God, dude. You can imagine, like, we're in the heart of LA, literally smack dab in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is. I feel like I saw an article not too long ago where it talked about like how that is one of like the most expensive gas stations in the country.
Dude, I believe it.
Yeah.
Whenever I want my
people pump gas there. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy. I always imagine that those are tourists who rent cars and don't know where any gas stations are at, and they just go to the first one that they see.
Of course.
That's what I imagine, because I never had an inclination to go over there, dude.
No.
Like, I'm offended that they're flashing those prices in front of my face, because obviously there's other places around. But it's super expensive. But whenever I want my parents to feel bad for me, because they're like, oh, yeah, gas is over here. I'm like, look how expensive gas is here. I show them that one. You know, I don't pump gas there. But it's bad, dude.
You can go 5 more minutes down the same street. You'll end in Lincoln Heights over the bridge. Arco, $4.30.
Yeah.
As opposed to double the price over here.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I started using the Chevron app, some of them, so you get points.
Okay.
So, like, as you accumulate points, you can get discounts on gas. So it was like $1 off.
I feel like if Trump were to be elected, gas will go back down.
I hope so, because that's a big expense, dude.
It is. Especially if you're driving a lot.
Yeah, luckily I don't drive far miles-wise, but time-wise is pretty bad. Like, if you're in California, especially if you're in LA, you don't measure the distance between places in miles. It's by minutes.
True. But even, like, if you're not coasting, you're still burning more gas faster.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just being idle in traffic, you're spending gas, especially because it's hot and you have the AC on and everything too. But yeah, man, it's an interesting time in this season of America.
We've lived through a few recessions at this point in our age. We've seen an actual assassination attempt on a former president and running for president, currently candidate, you know, and man, I'm pretty sure we're going to know that aliens are fucking real soon, and like fucking
God knows what else.
Kind of spiritual realm is definitely something that we can tap into, like, for sure. You know, like, it's just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, man. We're like, I feel like we're in the cusp of some big shit. Hopefully it's not too bad. I have like irrational fear sometimes, like, especially living in LA, like some crazy shit happening here that scares me, but hopefully nothing like that. I'd rather just have aliens.
Honestly, like, moments like these, or just the realization of where we're at, like, makes me want to read the book of Revelations again.
Revelation.
That's my.
There's no plural.
Oh, is Revelation? I thought it was Revelations.
No, I learned that in Long Legs.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I got to see that movie. You
Dude,
like
it's
it?
really fucking
Nicolas
good.
Cage.
I
love Nicolas Cage.
So this movie. So he's the villain, right? The villain is very Nicolas Cage. No one else could have done this villain the way Nicolas Cage did. If you would take the scenes from this movie that he does as Longlegs and put it in a different, like, let's just change his makeup and put it in like in a different environment, it'd be funny. But the way they film it and the way he looks and the music and the vibe is what makes it terrifying. So like they turned what we love about Nicolas Cage, they turned it into something scary. Because it's so weird. It's not scary in a sense of like exorcisms or some crazy shit like that. It's just very unsettling. It seems like a cursed movie. Like, I don't know, you ever like went to like Blockbuster and try to like rent a movie and stuff, and you see like weird movies and you're like, oh, I don't want to fucking watch that shit. It looks crazy. That's what that is like, you know? Like,
Did you like it?
I loved it. Stephanie hated it.
Really?
I was like,
Where'd you watch it?
AMC.
Glendale.
Yeah. And I was like, what would you rate it? She was like, well, it's hard to rate because it wasn't a bad movie, but I hated it.
Did she get scared?
She said it. So
is it more just like, ugh?
Yeah, it's more just like, oof, that's fucking crazy. And a lot of like, there are some scares that like you kind of jump up, but nothing crazy. It's more just like, what the fuck, like a very unsettling. Like, have you seen Hereditary?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that kind of vibe. Like Hereditary wasn't scary. Like it wasn't like no monsters or anything crazy like that. But it was very unsettling. You were watching something you weren't supposed to watch. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like at any time, Longlegs was gonna pull like a ring and like come out the TV or some shit.
Yeah,
it's like that, but it's really good. So if you like that kind of stuff, if you like the occult, like I find that stuff interesting.
Yeah,
you'll like it because it's like
So the occult, like it gets into like some of that shit.
Yeah, into like Satanism and stuff.
Okay, that's
why I stepped in. Like she hates anything that has to do with like the devil, and this doesn't have to do with the devil, but the devil is involved. You know, like I mean, Longlegs is a Satanist.
Longlegs is a Satanist.
He's a Satanist, yeah.
The serial killer.
Yeah. So like, you know, it leans into that kind of stuff.
I want to see this movie called Maxine because it taps into the whole Richard Ramirez thing.
Oh, I heard about that one.
I want to see it.
I'm down, dude.
Yeah.
Because Stephanie doesn't really like horror movies.
I think Magali would want to see that one. It's not really a horror movie. It's like not at all a horror movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm down to Third Wheel or Double Date.
Yeah.
I love those kinds of movies. But yeah, you should watch Longlegs. It's a good one. And there's this part where this girl is like, it's like in the book Revelations, and she's like, it's not Revelations, it's Revelation. There's only one.
Wow.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
there's only one.
Yeah.
You know? But I was like, damn, that's right. That's actually true.
Yeah, that book is crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's scary. And then they quote it in some parts of it. And I was watching like explained videos, like explanations of the movie and the plot. Because there's a lot of ARGs out right now for that movie. So part of the marketing was really good.
ARG?
Yeah, it's like it stands for like actual reality game or some shit like that. Where in this case, Longlegs, the marketing team, they put out like the website and stuff, and they had clues. Like they would put like case files, photos, and stuff like that to give you the opportunity to solve it. So it's like a game in real life.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they were doing that. So there were the birthday murders, and they would post these like cryptic messages and symbols and whatever, and they would leave it for us who would want to get into it to try to solve it. Mm-hmm. And there were people really getting into it, like going into like how his motivations, the motivation of the movie. So it's really interesting. And I like it because it's also like an original script, which I always appreciate.
For sure. Yeah.
It's not like a book or based on like a.
When'd you see it?
When?
Yeah.
Like last week.
Because I went to go see The Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah. I saw that too.
Was it 3 or some shit like that?
Oh, yeah. It's the third one, but it's like day one.
Day one, yeah. And after my homie Steven was talking about, and his girl too, we're talking about Longlegs and like how I had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or some shit like that. And I was like, okay, it sounds kind of cool.
Dude, it's good. I'm watching it again this weekend.
Really? That's how much you liked it?
Yeah, because my cousin wants to watch. He texted me. He was like, "Have you seen Longlegs?" And I was like, "I have." He's like, "Oh, I wanted to watch it." Like, bro, I'm down to watch it again. Like, it's like I liked it a lot.
That's cool.
It's one of those movies that I feel like you need to watch, and every time you watch, you might get something like, "Oh shit, they foreshadowed that." Oh shit, there's like, you know.
Yeah. So
I recommend you watch. I'll watch it again.
Everybody out there, watch Longlegs and
give your synopsis. No spoilers.
What you think.
But yeah, and I think with that, we can call it a night.
Call it a night, yeah. Thanks for watching episode 5 of the Current Flow podcast.